All right, so Nicole Kidman's new film, Babygirl. Have you heard about this one?
Oh yeah, it's been getting a lot of buzz.
It has. Powerful CEO, younger intern, sparks fly.
Sounds familiar, right?
Yeah, like we've seen this one before, but here's where it gets really interesting.
Okay, I'm listening.
What if the intern is the one who's really in control?
Oh wow, that completely flips the script.
It does. You don't know who to root for.
Exactly. It makes you think about power in a whole new way.
And Kidman herself has said that this role was both liberating and, like, unbelievably demanding.
Yeah, I read that she even said she didn't want to orgasm anymore.
Oh my gosh. Right. Like, how intense did things get on set?
Well, it definitely makes you curious.
It does. It really does. Like, what would push an actress like her to that point?
I mean, she's known for really committing to her roles.
She does.
But this seems like it was something else entirely.
Yeah, and she hasn't just talked about the physical intensity.
Oh, right. She's used words like ragged and exposed.
Yeah, and even, don't come near me. I hate doing this.
Like, whoa.
I know. It sounds like this role really got under her skin.
You think it's the power dynamic?
Hmm.
I mean, that's what makes it so unsettling.
Could be. Now, did you know that the director Helena Rain, she cited Basic Instinct as a major inspiration?
Basic Instinct.
No.
Oh, wow. That's a classic.
It is, all that desire and manipulation, and, well, it got pretty steamy.
It definitely pushed boundaries.
So is Babygirl just a modern take on that, or is it trying to do something totally new?
Well, they both definitely explored desire and power dynamics, but with Babygirl having a woman director.
Yeah,
know.
yeah. You think that will change things?
It has to. I mean, it could offer a totally fresh perspective on female sexuality and agency.
And not just the typical male gaze we see in a lot of films like this.
Right, exactly.
Okay, so we have this intense power dynamic. We have Kidman pushing herself further than maybe ever before. And we have this connection to a classic erotic thriller.
It's like a recipe for something really interesting.
It is.
Yep.
It really is. So let's see if Babygirl can live up to the hype.
I'm ready to find out.
Me too. All right, well, let's take a quick break, and then we'll dig even deeper into this when we come back.
It's not like she's shying away from that, the erotic part.
Right. When I saw that Rain called it a really hot movie, I was like, okay, this is going to be interesting.
But you know what I think is key here?
What's that?
She's approaching it with intention and respect.
Yeah, and that's something Kidman has talked about, too, the trust and safety on set.
That's so important, especially with such a sensitive film.
She said she felt totally comfortable, like she could explore this vulnerable side of herself, honestly.
And I think that comes across on screen, don't you think? Like you can feel that trust.
Totally. Yeah, it doesn't feel exploitative at all.
And how often do you see that in films that deal with sexuality?
Not often enough.
Uh-huh.
Especially female sexuality.
Exactly.
But, for all that talk about safety and trust, Kidman's also admitted to feeling some anxiety about this film.
Really?
Yeah, like she's nervous for the world to see it.
That's so interesting because she's usually so fearless in her choices.
She is, but she's compared it to like having a home video released.
Oh, wow. That's a pretty intense comparison.
It is. So what do you think is behind those anxieties?
Well, I think there's a natural tension there,
Between what?
between wanting to push boundaries as an artist and the vulnerability of exposing yourself like that.
Especially when it's something so personal.
Right. And as a woman in Hollywood, I bet there's an added layer of scrutiny.
Oh, for sure. So maybe that's what elevates this film beyond just a typical erotic thriller.
It's not just about the sex. It's about a woman taking control of her desires and dealing with the fallout.
And how often do we see that portrayed on screen?
Not nearly enough. And with a cast like this, Kidman, Sophie Wilde, Antonio Banderas.
Jean Reno.
Right, it's like a who's who of Hollywood. I have a feeling this is going to be more than just a film.
Like it could spark a real cultural conversation.
Exactly. People are going to be talking about this one.
They are, that's for sure.
Oh.
It's definitely going to stay with people, I think.
It will. It's like what we want from a film, right? Makes us think. Makes us feel.
Exactly. And I think it's safe to say we've gone way beyond just a basic thriller with this one.
We have. It's so much more layered than that.
Right. Remember when we started this, you were like, okay, another age gap romance?
Yeah, I thought I knew what to expect, but I was wrong.
We were all wrong. This is something else entirely.
It's about female desire and vulnerability and like all these power dynamics.
The intensity of those intimate scenes. Kidman's performance, like she really put it all out there.
She did. And Basic Instinct as inspiration.
Oh,
Oh, and a woman director. That changes everything.
it does. What do you think is the biggest takeaway here?
The shifting roles of men and women, the conversation about consent, and the pressures women face. Like, it's all in there.
It really makes you think about what it means to be in control.
To let go and to take back your own agency,
That's the thing about Babygirl. It doesn't give you easy answers.
It makes you confront your own ideas about relationships and desire.
So as you go out and see this film, here's something to think about.
Okay, I'm listening.
Is this a movie about men and women, or is it about female desire? Or is it both?
You know what? I think that's up to each viewer to decide.
I think you're right. There's no right answer.
The best art makes you think for yourself.
Well, this deep dive has given me a lot to think about, that's for sure.
Me too.
And I'm sure we'll be talking about Babygirl for a long time to come.
Absolutely. This conversation is just beginning.
That's right. So until next time, keep exploring, keep questioning, and keep diving deep.